back here again with another Vinyl Finds video. It's been probably a good month since the last time I did one, so I have a decent stack of albums that have been accumulating, so figured it was time to show them off. And honestly, I'm not going to try to make this video too long, but I definitely can't make any promises. I feel like it's probably going to end up being a little bit longer, but I'm going to try to get through them as quick as possible. But just getting right into it, today actually I was in Columbus, Ohio. I went to the Arnold Sports Festival convention, whatever they call it. It's the first time I had actually ever been there. It was kind of spur of the moment. One of my friends ended up having an extra ticket, so he asked me if I wanted to go, so I ended up going with him. And it was definitely fun, and while I was in Columbus, I did get a little bit of time to actually stop by Spoonful Records, and actually got to meet up again with Corey in there, and it was definitely cool to be able to see him and look through records with him for a little bit. I wish I would have been able to look a little bit longer in there, but I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't in Columbus to look for records. Unfortunately, I was there to go to the Arnold, so I only had so much time that I was able to actually look. And I had my friend with him, and he's not huge into collecting records or looking at vinyl, but so he was definitely nice enough to go with me to Spoonful Records. And there's definitely a number of other shops that I would like to eventually go back and visit and check out at some point, but it's one of those things where I just didn't have time to do it today. But I did go to Spoonful Records, a very, very cool shop, and I only picked up one thing there, and I picked up the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Abbey Road EP. Pretty good price they had on it. The album itself is in like near mint condition. I was actually just playing it prior to filming this video, and unfortunately, someone decided to color in pants and clothes on the Chili Peppers on the cover, so that's probably the reason for the price. But cool EP from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Can't go wrong with anything Red Hot Chili Peppers. But that's the only thing I picked up at Spoonful Records. But I definitely hope to soon to go back to Columbus, Ohio, and check out some of the other stores and check out Spoonful Records again. And like I said, it was definitely cool to meet up with Corey again and look through records with him. It's definitely always cool to do that. But last week I went to Odds and Ends in Shelbyville, Indiana here, and a record store that I used to frequently visit a lot. Honestly, I used to be one of the only record stores that was kind of near me for a while, at least 3-4 years ago. So I used to go there quite often, but I probably haven't been in there. I'd say probably a good year or so, and so I figured go in there again and see if they have anything worthwhile. And I was honestly kind of disappointed. They didn't really find anything there. I walked away with just one 45. It's an unofficial 45 of Pearl Jam. The first side is just them doing it live from a 1993 UK TV performance, and then the B-side is just the two songs that they released in their 1993 10 Club single. Definitely cool to have it. I mean, if it says Pearl Jam on it and I don't have it, I will pretty much buy it, but definitely cool, but nothing too spectacular. I didn't find anything overly great at Odds and Ends, but a few weeks back, probably I think it was about 2 weeks ago now, I went to Luna Music in Broad Ripple, and I hadn't been in there since probably last June, last July. And I mean, I feel like Luna Music's probably kind of a hit and miss. Some of their prices are a little bit on the iffy side. I mean, they have some stuff that in their shop that I'm just like, I don't know how they figured the price out. It just seems like they pulled it out of thin air. And, like, you can go to Discogs and just get some of the stuff they have in their store for probably less than half the price, and so it's like crazy on some of their prices. But some of their prices, if you look long enough, you can find good deals, or at least fair deals. But I did pick up a few albums in there. The first being an album that was actually pretty inexpensive. It's just another unofficial Pearl Jam album. It's them live in Chicago, March 28th, 1992. and it actually sounds pretty good. I have listened to it, it does sound pretty excellent, and it's a cool concert. And again, it's one of those things. I said Pearl Jam, I didn't have it, so I had to buy it. And then another one is actually another unofficial Pearl Jam album. This one is a bootleg from 1998, and again, not expensive at all. And it's live in Melbourne, March 5th, 1998, and I mean, this is literally just in a white sleeve, and this is just a piece of printer paper put in there. It just has the set list on there, but excellent song. I believe this would have been on their Yield tour at that time. And again, I think this was actually originally recorded on a radio station in Australia, so this is probably what that's coming from. But the sound quality again on this is pretty excellent, and always love listening to live Pearl Jam albums. And again, it was a Pearl Jam album I didn't have. And then the last thing I picked up at Luna Music is actually an original copy of Bush, 16 Stone, which I was pretty stoked to find. It's just a fantastic album from them. I actually have the 20th anniversary reissue on I think it's on like a kind of a clear, cloudy clear vinyl. But definitely love having the original one of 16 Stone. I like the original cover and everything. Sounds fantastic. It's honestly looks like it's never been played. That's all I got at Luna Music. I've gone to Half Price Books several times. I haven't really found anything too worthwhile, but I did pick up Alice Cooper, Prince of Darkness. This is a album. It's a compilation album that came out in 1989. Nothing too spectacular, but it was an Alice Cooper album I had never seen before, so I picked that up for I think it was like $5. So definitely glad to get an Alice Cooper album that I did not have. And then I picked up an album at FYE, and I really don't like going to FYE. I really don't like buying things at FYE, but I picked this one up on there because it was the only place I could find it. It's Kurt Vile, I Believe I'm Going Down. Kind of a newer guy. I think he's probably released 3 or 4 albums by now, but I just recently discovered him. And it's because I kept hearing the song Pretty Pippin, which is the first song on this album, on the radio. And after the second or third time hearing it, I thought to myself that I probably should look up some more stuff from Kurt Vile. And I really enjoyed the other stuff that I heard, so I ended up buying. This is his latest album. I think it came out late last year. And this is a really solid album. Definitely highly recommend checking out Kurt Vile. The big song off of this album that they play on the radio, at least down here, is called Pretty Pippin. But the entire album is just fantastic. I'm glad that they still play newer musicians like Kurt Vile on the radio, and because it's just a solid album. Definitely recommend it though. And then did pick up one of the Sonic Youth reissues. I think a couple of them came out last Friday. I still need to pick up a few of them, but this is the one that I was really excited about. It's Sonic Youth Washing Machine. I picked this one up at Barnes & Noble, actually. It's the only place I actually have been able to find it. And I actually did see some of the Sonic Youth reissues at Spoonful earlier today, but the sound quality on this one was just amazing, and it's just one of those albums that I'm glad that they reissued because the original one just goes for so much money. And it's definitely a really great sounding reissue. Just a classic album from Sonic Youth. Can't go wrong with Sonic Youth. And the next few things I'm going to show is things that I got at the Vinyl Rescue Project in Greenwood, Indiana. Just various different stops. The first one being the Red Hot Chili Peppers 4 LP set Stadium Arcadium reissue. I was super stoked when I found out that they were reissuing this, because the original one goes for a ton of money, and then they reissued it on Record Store Day in I think 2012, and again that one goes for a lot of money as well. So this one was actually pretty inexpensive for a 4 LP set. This was a little bit more than $40, but compared to some of the other 4 LP sets that's out there, not too bad of a price. And they sound phenomenal as well. They sound very, very good. Uh, just a one of my favorite Chili Peppers albums. Originally came out in 2006. So many great songs on there. On here, Danny California, Snow. I really like the title track as well, Stadium Arcadium. But there's just the entire album, fantastic. Definitely glad that they finally reissued that one. Then another album I got at the Vinyl Rescue Project. I got this one when it came out, and it is the new Anthrax For All Kings album. I've really enjoyed this album the first time I've listened to it, and I definitely need to listen to it again. But I mean, I think it's just a solid album from Anthrax. Was really enjoying it. I really like the cover as well. It's a really nice glossy cover. Comes with a really cool insert to put over it. And this particular copy that I got was the Indie Record Store exclusive, which is on colored vinyl as well. It's yellow with red splatter. So that looks really cool. And it also came with a Anthrax slip mat as well. Which again, pretty cool. It's a pretty great bargain for how much this album cost, because it wasn't very expensive. So definitely great album from Anthrax. Definitely glad that they released a new one. And then another album I picked up at the Vinyl Rescue Project, and this is one that I had been wanting to get since it came out, and they finally got some copies in at their store. And it's Prong, No Absolutes. Again, just a killer album from Prong. I mean, these guys can still just kill it. I don't know if they've ever honestly put out a bad album. I don't believe that they have, but glad that this album is just. I'm glad that I was able to pick it up. The one that I was actually thinking for a while that I was gonna have to order online just because no place was getting it. And this one actually did come with the CD as well, so that was kind of nice, which is actually in my car right now. But definitely cool that it comes with the CD. And again, just not a very expensive album. And this one is on collared vinyl as well. It's on the red collar. But definitely recommend checking out the new Prong album if you haven't already. It is very solid. And Prong's actually coming and playing a concert down here in Indianapolis, I think in April, that I would actually like to try to go to if I'm able to. Definitely would like to see them. I've heard very good things about their shows, so would like to check them out. Then I also picked up the reissue of Summer Teeth by Wilco. Again, also came with the CD. And just, again, all of Wilco's reissues are pretty cheap, and they all come with the CD, I believe. But again, just another solid album from Wilco. Originally came out in 1999, I believe. And then the last album I picked up at the Vinyl Rescue Project is the Foo Fighters EP, Saint Cecilia. Again, just a solid album from Foo Fighters, a solid EP from the Foo Fighters. I mean, picked this up when it came out. It was like $11-12, so definitely can't go wrong with that, especially with the recent rumors that the Foo Fighters are going to break up, which obviously isn't going to happen. I love the video that the Foo Fighters put up the other day, basically just stating that they're not breaking up. So, stop spreading the rumors. But that's all the albums that I've actually got at the physical record store. The next set of albums I'm going to show are from Discogs, actually. And the first one I'm going to show is actually an original 1996 copy of Soul Coughing Irresistible Bliss. And the funny thing about this one, I ordered this one because I actually saw the reissue a couple weeks ago when I went to Luna Music. And kind of had forgot about this album, honestly. But I've always liked the song Super Bod Bod. And the reissue, honestly, was about the same price as the original, so I just figured I would get the original. So I placed the order for this one on Discogs, and like a day or two later I get a message from the seller on Discogs. He lived in, like, I think Maine, but he messages me and actually tells me that, weirdly enough, that he was going to be in Indianapolis for some business from his work, and that he was actually just going to hand deliver the record to me. And the next day he actually came to my house and hand delivered me the record. So definitely one of the stranger things that's happened to me. I've never ordered something online and actually had the seller hand deliver it to me in person. But definitely A+ customer service for sure. But he said the album was never played, and honestly, it looks like it never had been played. Just a fantastic album, though, from Soul Coffee. And then another album I picked up off Discogs for cheap is one that I've kind of been wanting for a while. And it's the Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe picture disc. Really like how the picture disc looks. And for a picture disc, it really doesn't sound that bad either. But really just like the artwork and everything on this. And this is the original 1998 picture disc of Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe. But just a great album from them as well. And then I picked up these two albums on Discogs. It's Dave Matthews, Big Whiskey, and Away from the World. I've been needing to get these albums for a while, and I finally just pulled the trigger on it. And they were super cheap. Honestly, I was actually in a really big Dave Matthews mood a couple weeks ago. I actually still kind of am, as I'm actually wearing the t-shirt. But I actually just got tickets to see Dave Matthews for a show in July. So I was definitely in the mood to listen to some Dave Matthews. These are two albums that I just needed to get. And I actually went to Barnes and Noble, and they had this one in there, and it was just way overpriced. It was ridiculous. Then I went to FYE, and they had this one in there. And FYE had two prices on. They had a price of $34.99 on the front of it, and on the back of it they had a price of $19.99. So I went and asked the guy, and he was basically didn't even really want to talk to me. He just said, "Oh, it's $34.99. I was only going to pay $35 for it." And I got both of these on Discogs for less than $35, so definitely can't beat that. And of course, this one in particular is on clear vinyl, which looks really nice. Two solid albums from Dave Matthews. I think I like Big Whiskey just a little bit more than Away from This World, but looking forward to seeing him in concert, and both solid albums. I think Dave Matthews was one of those guys in my mind has never released anything too bad, but I can't wait to see him in concert. And I actually kind of have a theory, and thinking that Crash actually might be reissued on Record Store Day. I have no facts to back that up other than I think it's the 20th anniversary of that album on April 20th. I think it came out April 20th, 1996, and Record Store Day is April 16th. So I think it kind of works together. So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping, because I really want that album to be reissued on vinyl. So I'm hoping that actually happens. So it might just be wishful thinking on my part, but definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to Record Store Day, actually. It's coming up kind of soon. But another album that I got on Discogs is one that it's probably been on my want list for as long as I've been collecting records. It's my favorite Neil Young album. It's which is obvious. I mean, I feel like the whole theme of this video is pretty much just been Pearl Jam, pretty much, because it is the album that Neil Young plays with Pearl Jam. Although I think he only plays with Eddie Vedder on one of the tracks. That Eddie Vedder does backing vocals on one of the tracks, but the rest of the band is playing with Neil Young. It's Mirror Ball. This is an original U.S. copy, and one popped up on Discogs for a lot cheaper than one that usually goes for, so I picked it up. There's a couple creases in the corner, so that's probably what affected the price. But again, the albums are in like near mint shape that looks like they've never been played. So just an album that not phenomenal album from Neil Young. It's easily my favorite Neil Young album. It's hard to pick just one favorite Neil Young album. It's impossible, but this is probably definitely up there. And just love Mirrorball. Just a fantastic album. Definitely psyched that was a big one that I was able to get off my want list. Been wanting to get that album for years, so I'm definitely glad I was able to get that knocked off. And another album I got off on Discogs. And again, this one was super cheap, and it's Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? Really like Lenny Kravitz stuff for the most part, and this is an album that I think is probably one of his better works. So I picked it up, and this one was cheap. The original, and this is the US version, the original US version actually came with a bonus CD, and the bonus CD is missing in this, which I'm not too worried about. I want it more for the record than I do the bonus CD, but it is on this clear vinyl as well. And I mean, I feel like it was probably a lot cheaper because it didn't have the CD, which is fine with me. And again, just a solid album from Lenny Kravitz. Of course, the title track, Are You Gonna Go My Way, is still a song I hear on the radio all the time. And the last album actually is one that I got off on eBay, and I was actually really surprised that I was able to get this album on eBay for the price that I did. I mean, this is an album that goes for well more than what I got it on an eBay. And this is the first time I've honestly scored a deal on eBay in probably a good year and a half. And it's actually a Pearl Jam album, which kind of goes with the theme of this whole video. I feel like I showed a lot of Pearl Jam in this video. But it's Vault Number 4, which originally was released through the 10 Club, which at the time when this came out, I did not have a 10 Club membership, which now I do. And it's from May 10th, 2000 from Mount Baker Theater. And what I really like about this is they played 10 songs off Biennial, which I think I just recently was going to come out. I don't think it had come out yet when they were doing this concert, but they do 10 songs off of that album, which is pretty cool, as that album goes for a ton of money. So it's cool to have at least those songs, which is like 10 tracks. I think that means an album is 13 tracks, so there'll only be 3 tracks missing that they did not play at this concert. But just a phenomenal set list, just a phenomenal sound. These albums sound fantastic. Great sounding records. The cover is like in this book kind of case. It's very nice. I mean, it's a lot bigger than a normal record. It's definitely not going to fit in the shelf with the other records, but it is definitely really cool how they have it set up kind of like a book and have all the LPs in there. But just a great concert from Neil Young, and not Neil Young, Pearl Jam, still stuck on the mirror ball, but just a great album, great concert from Pearl Jam, and I'm really glad I was able to score that for as cheap as I did on eBay, because it goes for probably double, if not triple, what I got it for on eBay that it does on Discogs. And like I said, one of the only times in a long time that I've actually got a good deal on eBay. But these are all the records I have to show. I hope this video wasn't too long. But anyway, again, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day.